What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Javien University. And today's guest, when it comes to what this podcast was really built upon, this is somebody who I think really exemplifies what, everything this podcast represents. So not only is he someone who faced a lot of adversity, but, I watched him from afar and I saw him overcome everything that's really been thrown his way. And, no matter what path life takes him on, he never gave up. And we met playing football at Florida State. It's one of my old teammates. Stopped by on his birthday, too, so shout out to him for that, for sure, because he didn't have to, so major shout out for that. Former quarterback for Florida State and Hampton, current quarterback for the DC Defenders in the UFL, formerly known as the XFL. We got Deondre Francois, a.k.a. Dirty. What's good, man?
Yeah, what's good, brother?
What's good, my boy? So real quick, before we get into everything, where did that nickname come from?
Shoot. They used to call me Dirty Red because my hair color.
Yeah.
Growing up, and my skin color is like a dirty red, a burnt orange color.
Yeah.
And then once I got a little older, I just dropped the red and kept it dirty. And most of my homies was calling me Dirty.
Yeah, for sure. That's what's up. So right now, you're getting ready to go play in the XFL, playing with DC, but let's take it back to kind of like when you was growing up. You spent some time back and forth between Orlando and Miami, so, how was that? What was that process like?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it was tough. My process coming up, I'm originally from Miami, Little Haiti. I was born in Miami, Jackson Memorial Hospital. That's where my family started when we came to the States. Came from Haiti, my grandparents, and then they came to Miami, Little Haiti, and that's when they had my mom, my aunts, my uncles. And then from there, we started to leave Miami just for cheaper living because it was just expensive to live in Miami. It was way cheaper, like, when I was a kid, it was way cheaper in Orlando than it was in Miami.
Yeah.
So my mom moved here. She had me at a young age, me and my older sister. Okay, so it's five of us, but it was just us two at the time when I was young, moving back and forth from Miami to Orlando. So, and she was young. I mean, when it was all said and done, she was 22 with 5 kids. And we had to live in Orlando because it was way cheaper, than living in Miami, being that young with 5 children. So that was that process, but, we got out of it and grew up.
Yeah, so like with your parents or with your family being from Haiti, have you gotten a chance to go to Haiti?
Nah, man, I want to, and I will one day. But right now, Haiti in a tough place. It's a beautiful country. It has its ups and downs, pros and cons, just like every other country. But right now, Haiti doesn't even have a government. It's ran by gangs. They assassinated the president not too long ago. So I mean, you got your tourist spots that tourists can go to and stuff like. I don't want to play with it right now until everything,
cool out.
Yeah.
See, I had some Haitian roommates that was from Miami when I was in college, so I kind of know a little bit about the culture, not so much about what's actually going on. But like, where did you at least grow up? Well, shoot, I'm pretty sure grow up eating like the Haitian food and all that. Like,
yeah, man. To this day, I mean, that's all I eat. Real. That's all my mama know how to cook. She trying to learn how to cook American food.
Yeah.
Trying to switch over, but this Haitian food, that's what I came up off of. My grandmother, my grandpa, both my parents Haitian, both my parents from Miami, so that's all I like growing up.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. So when you grow up in Orlando, you play high school football here at Olympia. I want to know, like, how did you end up going to IMG? Like, how did that happen and what made you go there?
Man, that was a crazy situation. So I started at Olympia freshman year. Actually, before I even got to Olympia, I was in 8th grade, about to go to high school. And, the division I was playing in Little League, if you're in 9th grade, you can still play Little League football if you a certain weight and a certain age. You know what I'm saying? So, and some guys did that. If they wasn't big enough to play high school, their freshman year, they still play
Little League.
Senior ball, but on a Little League. And my Little League team was the best in the whole city of Orlando. Orlando Outlaws. And it was like a dynasty, so the Little League coaches was like telling me, come back, let's win it again, you know what I'm saying? And they had convinced me, and I had, even told them, I was coming back and stuff like that. And one day we was practicing outside at Olympia, and the high school coaches seen me throw the ball, just throwing the ball out there. And high school coach told me, come over. Long story short, he was like, you don't need to be playing Little League ball. You need to come play JV quarterback. And I was like, JV? At the time, I didn't know my talent. So I was like, bet, it's up. I want to play JV. But my mom wasn't with it because we had already committed to play Little League ball. So she felt like we was, going backwards on our word. And at the time, I didn't understand it, but I see now that I'm older what she was saying. But, that was the best decision I ever made because once I, decommitted from playing Little League and went to play high school ball, I was a freshman starting on JV. And after that, freshman year, balled out, ended up taking the starter spot on varsity. He ended up transferring out, and then I was a starter as a 10th grader. And, I had a great season that 10th grade year. That was like my coming out party. Okay, that's when I knew, okay, I can go to the league, I can go to college, I can play big time college ball. Yeah. And my confidence got bigger. But after that season, our coaches, well-known coaches in Orlando, they ended up getting a better job at a better high school. And I couldn't go to that high school because I wasn't zoned for that district. So that really crushed me. Like, that was before I went to college and I knew how, the business worked. I'm like, you convinced me to come play high school ball. And then cleared it. Right. And then we had a great 10th grade season. And then 11th grade, that's the season that you really get all your offers and you start, really picking what college you want to go to and you just dip. But I understand the business now, so I couldn't go to that school. With that 11th grade year, we had got new coaches. And the first game of the season was against a school called IMG. At the time, nobody knew who that was. We didn't know who it was. Our coaches ain't know. Like, nobody in the state knew, like, who IMG was. Right. This was their first year having a football program. Okay. So we put them on a schedule, not knowing they had the top recruits, not knowing he was stat. You know what I'm saying? I kind of see where this could go. Right. So we ended up playing them, but we played them tough, though. Okay. With the high school. What y'all got. Yeah. What we had, we played it tough. Like, I played a great game, and Chris Winkie was their head coach. Okay. And, so Chris Winkie was their head coach. I think they beat us like 21-7. So we was like, we thought we did pretty good. So that season just went on. We ended up having a bad season. I think we went 3-7 that season. Terrible season. And after that season, me and my mom was talking about it's time to transfer. If I got to move, get a new address, it's time to transfer because now my career's starting to go backwards. Yeah. Like, it ain't going in the right direction. Yeah. So we were just looking for different options. And then out of nowhere, IMG had contacted one of my Little League coaches, and my Little League coach contacted my mom. And long story short, went through a pipeline of come take a visit, come check our school out. So I went out there, and I loved it. You know what I'm saying? It was like you living on campus. It's all football. You know what I'm saying? It's all everything like that a football player that want to make it dream of. So I'm out there, man, and I'm like, I want to commit. I want to come here. I want to play. Yeah. Chris Winkie, you know what I'm saying? Right. Florida State, great. At the time I had a couple of offers. I had probably like 11 offers. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then I went there, but the experience ain't started off all too well though. This is my first time really facing adversity in life, to where I had to really see God and open up my Bible and start to understand. I'm on my home. I was a junior in high school and I had left home. You know what I'm saying? Usually you don't do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? I was out there by myself, and this was their second year having a football program. So nobody knew how good they was gonna be. Nobody knew what was gonna happen. You really just going off on faith. Going off of faith. Going off of not wanting to go 3-7. Yeah. Not wanting to be playing for, what I was playing for before, and just going off Chris Winkie, you know what I'm saying? It ended up being the best decision I ever made, because when I went there, it was like everything was cool, but I was so behind on schoolwork because their school system was different than our school system in Orange County. This was 2.5 hours away, all the way in Bradenton, Sarasota. So it was block classes. So it was 3 classes a day, different subjects every day. I came from a program to where it was 7 classes a day. You're going to go to the all 7 classes that day. You know what I'm saying? But over there it was like 3 classes one day and then a different 3 classes the next day. Right. That's how our high school was. Exactly. Yeah, So I ended up going over there in the springtime, right before, I remember, bro, it was right before exams. You know how we thought those exams. Right before the exams, I'm like, they piling all this work on me. You got to learn this before the exam. You got to learn that. You got to learn this. You got to catch up. Da, da, da. I'm trying to catch up, and everything becoming overwhelming. So I remember one day we had, practice or like workouts before we put on pads and stuff. The season didn't start yet, but we had team workouts, and I left my room, my dorm room, when I went to the stadium early because you got to cut through the stadium to get to the field house. I went to the stadium. I just walked up the bleachers, and I'm just sitting there, bawling my eyes out. I don't even know why I was crying. I know why I was crying, but I couldn't put it on one thing because it was just so much going on. I'm like, I got this new school. I just left my old school where I was the man. Nobody here speak English for real.
What?
Yeah, it was kids from other countries usually because it started off as a tennis school like years ago. Then they added baseball, boys and girls soccer, softball. Slowly started adding sports. When I got there, that was the first year, second year really adding football. So it was a couple of guys that, that was from the States, but most guys are from out the country.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially to see where it's at right now. Like, okay, so you going out there, and really me, when I'm hearing this story, I'm thinking like you about to be living a life because it's really college before going off to college.
Exactly.
But when you get there, it's like it ain't really as expected. So like, did all of that took a toll on you mentally? Did that like affect you how you played or?
Nah, it didn't affect how I played at all because I went through that process, that homesick process before the season started. So I had time to really, buckle down, make a decision of what I want to do, where I want to be in life. And this was a position that God was blessing me with to get to where I wanted to go. And I had to realize that at first I didn't notice that. So I had called my mom that day crying, bawling out crying. And she's like, you know what? I'm taking you out of that school right now.
You know that's that moment instinct, right? Out the way.
Like, I need my baby home. And she went to talk to my pastor at the time, and he told her, just leave him there. No matter what he tell you, just leave him there. This is where he's supposed to be. Just leave him there. And, you know what I'm saying? After that, she told me, you got to stay. You got to ride it out. This is where you're supposed to be. And at the time, I'm not understanding. I'm like, you just told me from the dip. You just told me, like, you about to leave. You about to come get you. Whatever. I ain't understand how to talk to the pastor and he telling her this and that. I wasn't trying to hear none of that. I was just out there because IMG is a place to where, as a high school kid, it's either the most freedom you'll ever have or the least freedom you'll have in that time in your life, depending on your upbringing and what type of kid you is.
Yeah.
I seen guys go there over my time there, be there for a month and like, I ain't staying here. I'm going back to the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But me, it was an opportunity of a better lifestyle. At the crib, I wasn't getting free meals like that.
Right.
Free housing, free weight room.
Yeah.
Hella grass fields, beautiful grass.
Yeah.
I still to this day gotta search for good grass fields. So I'm up there like this is an opportunity that I need to take, and that was the time where I grew up in life right there. I took a leap.
You took a leap.
Yeah.
But a lot of times that's really how I be in life. Like, like a lot of times when we be in that moment and we just don't know what's next, or we all, you know what I'm saying? Like God be having bigger plans for us. So
Exactly.
So you end up going to IMG. I didn't even know that Chris Winkie was your your coach there. So I'm pretty sure that had a huge part of you going to Florida State, huh?
Everybody say that, but it didn't though.
What?
Yeah, everybody thought that when I committed too.
So what happened? Like, what happened?
Chris was just a great guy, bro. Like my favorite coach ever, bro. One of them, bro. Like he was the first coach I had that was like real deal coach. He like played in the league, played at state. He knew everything that I wanted to know. Not to salt down the other coaches that I had before, but you know what I'm saying? They didn't have the life experiences, the game experiences that he had. So when I started getting coached by him, my game took a leap. I went to another level. Still in high school, it was like night and day. But when I got there, like I met Teddy Bridgewater, Cam Newton, all the quarterbacks that was training there. So that made me, want to be better and just watching those guys. I'm literally sitting out there watching them, being a ball boy, like learning, seeing what coach telling him to do on his 5-step drop. This is my coach. This is my OC. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But in the off season, he trained QBs for the draft. So I'm taking all this in. So I'm like, I'm like, at that point, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be like. But the decision to go to Florida State was Jimbo. It had nothing to do with Winky. But people thought that, and I mean, in Winky, we always had this talk too. It was funny. I still remember to this day, he called me in his office like, look, you can go whatever school you want to go to. You know what I'm saying? You know what school, you know what my school is. Like, basically, you know who I like. But I want you to pick whatever school you want to go to. And then when I picked Florida State, he called me out. He like, you know, people gonna think I persuade you to go there, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know, man, but it didn't have nothing to do with you. It had a whole lot of components.
Yeah. So really, all this is starting to make sense because even right here in my notes, like I said, we met when you first got to Florida State. So, and one of the things that I recognized out the gate was one, it was your talent, but two, your confidence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you came in talking, you know what I'm saying? Talking your talk, popping your, you feel me? So like, now it all makes sense. But really, not only do it make sense from the IMG thing, but from you saying that you went out in your 10th grade year and within your first couple games, you knew for a fact, like, this what I'm meant to do, this where I'm going. So like now really everything already adding up. So you get to Florida State, you redshirt your freshman year. What was it like during that time for you being able to learn under Jimbo, especially since he was the one who got you to come to Florida State?
Yeah, man, that was a surreal time because, like, redshirting was everything for me. That was the best decision I ever made in football, was to redshirt, because I got a chance to really learn the game. Jimbo, the pro-style offense in general, is a very complex offense. It's not like the other college offenses, where it's quick, where it's one word, here, line up, run the ball, let's go. It wasn't like that. It was traditional NFL offense. So as a freshman coming in, you had the red shirt. That's why statistically all the quarterbacks before me redshirted. Every quarterback, almost, when I looked at it back then, all the quarterbacks redshirted. All the quarterbacks who were successful sat their first year in that offense. Yeah. So I was cool with it. I was good with it because I was comfortable in Tallahassee. I was comfortable at Florida State. I was comfortable with the plan, you know, that I had set out for myself. I already knew what time it was. You know, I already pre-programmed my mind to get there and know, okay, you're finna redshirt, you're gonna learn the playbook, you're gonna master it, next year gonna be your year. Everything was already mapped out. Most guys get to college and, you know, they expect to play and expect to do this, and they don't get what they want, and they take their mind somewhere else, and they mess up their game, and it just becomes like a domino effect. So I already knew what was up when I came in. I didn't never go on an official visit and want a coach to tell me, yeah, you're gonna play right away, you're gonna get the number you want, this and that. I already knew what was up. Yeah,
no, that's good, because especially in the world we live in today, with the transfer portal, they expecting right now. They expecting really instant gratification. You feel me? As soon as they hit some type of adversity or somebody take their spot, they on to the next. So, you know, it's a different time, a different era right now. So, all right. So you going into your second year, right? And now this is when I had left already. So now you're going into your second year, and your first game as a starter is against Ole Miss. Yeah. And I remember to this day, like, I was in Tampa playing with the Bucks, and I remember I came back for this game. You know, it's lit SEC game. You know, they already be talking crazy about FSU and the ACC versus SEC, so they done lined it up, and you go and you play in the biggest comeback win against, like, in Florida State history. Honestly, it was a 22. Y'all was losing by 22 points. Y'all come back and win. What was that experience like, especially now that you done soaked up the game and learned so much? Like, what was that like?
Man, that experience was a crazy experience. Like, cause we was getting whooped. We was getting whooped bad. That wasn't how I thought it was gonna start off. You know what I'm saying? That was another time where I took a leap of faith with God, and I understood, like, you just gotta keep playing and trust Him, trust His plan, win or lose. You know, control what you can control. But it's a feeling, bro, like, that I can't even describe, bro. To open up the season in a brand new stadium. Mind you, I played in the stadium Little League already.
I was about to say, mind you, the game was here in Orlando, so it's in your backyard.
It's just everything is just working too perfect. Everything is just, you know, lining up the way it's supposed to line up. You know, that was a stadium that I played in and I cried as a kid in, and to see it come full circle and be my first home opener. My whole family here, my best friends. You know what I'm saying? So that was lit, man. It was a fun time. That was the start of something great. You know what I'm saying? At Florida State for me.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Like, when it comes to the actual game, like, did you realize what was actually happening? Like, are you thinking, because you down 22, bro. Most people they gonna chalk it up. They writing it off. Like, in the moment though, like, what was your mindset? Because you playing quarterback, like, you got to be the leader, bro. They follow you. This is the same game that Jameis had his speech too, though. That was my. We ain't no puppies, nah, man. So like, yeah.
I mean, my mindset going into the game was like, man, it's crazy how everything lined up. But you got to do it. You ready? You prepared? Like, I wasn't even nervous for real.
That's what I was. And all
people, when you watch the game, I remember my homies would tell me, looking back on it now, like, bro, you were so nervous in the first half, but they don't understand the game because they don't play the game. It wasn't that I was nervous. It's just the way the game's supposed to go. Like, if the game's supposed to go that way, that's how it's going to go. If you're supposed to be down and you're supposed to make a comeback, it's already written. That's how it's supposed to go because it wasn't that I was nervous. I was making all my reads, but you got to think about it. Ole Miss was raw. Them boys came out. They had DK and AJ. They came out. And Chad Kelly at QB, they came out. And then they had Ingram. You know what I'm saying? So they came out hot. We just came out slow. So that's how they got the momentum. After halftime, it was our turn to get the momentum. And then when we got it, we never gave it back.
Right.
It's just a game of momentum. Like, we made more mistakes than they made in the first half, and then we cleaned it up. It wasn't about, like, no halftime speech. It was just about really executing because we was doing the same thing. And it was all about timing because after halftime, before halftime when I threw that touchdown pass and I got hit, you know what I'm saying? That's when I was like, okay, boom, welcome to college football. Let's do it. I just dotted them boys. Okay, bet. Now I know it's really sweet out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I figured that out, in combination with Jimbo dialing it up too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, good play call.
He hit his bag, yeah.
I'm like, boom, I'm going to meet you halfway, coach. You going to do it.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was fun. Man.
Nah, that was definitely fun to watch. And y'all ended up having a good year that year. Y'all ended up playing the Orange Bowl to handle y'all business. So the next year, I think this your redshirt sophomore year, right?
Yeah.
The next year, back-to-backs, SEC season openers. This is really what everybody been waiting for. Bama versus Florida State. This game, it was in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Because I think I ended up going to that game. And this game, I went back and rewatched the highlights. It ended up like special teams played a huge role in that game, like a lot of like block punts, block field goals, all of that. But this was one of the moments where you ended up getting hurt in the fourth quarter. You broke your patella tendon.
Yeah, you ruptured it.
So you ruptured it. So when I see you laying on the ground like that, like I knew for one that it wasn't good. But what was going through your mind when that happened?
Devastation, because it was just a big hype game. It was a big hype game. We just came off a 10-3 season, beat Michigan in the Orange Bowl. We had a lot of hype. Mind you, we found out we was playing Alabama in the season opener like 2 weeks before the Ole Miss game. I remember talking to Jacquet, like, we open up Alabama next year. And then I'm trying to be like, hold on, but we got Ole Miss.
We got Ole, yeah.
Whole year waiting. But in the back of my head, I'm like, dang, we open up with Bama.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think of, even though you got a whole season ahead of you, like, okay, man, first season, Bama, okay, bet. But when that happened, it was a devastation. It was because the previous year I was known for taking hits and getting up, throwing the ball, throwing the dot, getting smacked, and still being able to get up and show toughness and just still fight for my teammates, let them boys see my toughness, let them boys see, I'm hurt, but I'm coming back. I remember my Miami game, I sprained my AC joint in the middle of the game.
Throwing shoulder?
Kendrick Norton landed on my throwing shoulder. Boom, hopped out of place. I go in the tent. They fix me up, get me right. I go back in the game. We end up winning the game. That was a big momentum booster for our season.
Yeah.
We ended up, winning the Orange Bowl that year. So when I didn't get up after the hit in the Alabama game, it was, I knew it was over with. You know what I'm saying? Because if I can get up, I'm gonna get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a, you know, tough it out. But I couldn't get up, and I just seen my legs swelling up slowly. When he tackled me from the back, I felt the pop. So all that was playing through my head the whole time. Jaquez telling me to get up. You know, he telling me to get up. He's spinning on me though through his face mask.
He's spinning.
He's spinning on me. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. I can't even move, bro. I can't move. I can't do nothing. He's like, come on, Trey, get up, bro. Come on. The trainer's coming. Come on. I'm like, yeah, bro, I can't move it. And then right there, I already knew what was up because I seen it swelling up. I'm like, dang, man.
Can't be nothing good.
I try to stay optimistic and like on the way to the locker room when I got on the cart, I try to think like, dang, I just try to pray like, God, I hope it's, you know, this and that and not this and that. I hope I can still play this season and settle up prayer, but everything was in his plans and it all worked out.
Definitely was. So like, once you found out that you was gonna end up missing the rest of the year, like, what was? I know everything ended up working out, but like going through that, like, what was that like?
That was tough, bro. Cause after that Orange Bowl season, I ended up moving out the dorms. Ended up in my own crib before the Alabama season.
Okay.
2017 season. Ended up getting my own crib. I was a little older. You know what I'm saying? Just had a great season. Everything was nice. Just basically saying that I had what I needed. I had what I wanted. I was living good. I'm starting quarterback at a prestigious program. You know what I'm saying? Just living life. Got my own car. You know what I'm saying? I was out on my own. And when I got hurt, I was lonely because I wanted in the dorms with my boys. I'm all, you know what I'm saying? So I started, you know, looking for that companionship and other people. Started getting a girlfriend, started getting somebody there with me because I just felt so lonely. I felt so weak because it's like, you're supposed to be tough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be tough. You're supposed to be tough. This supposed to be the year y'all go to the Natty. You know what I'm saying? Derwin James was hurt 2016, but he back 2017.
Yeah.
Defense supposed to be right. Y'all got this star freshman, Cam Akers.
Yeah.
You supposed to be like that. Y'all just wanted Orange Bowl, top teams in the nation. All that was going through my head. Like, and this was my first injury I had myself. This was it. It was the first one. I ain't never get no surgery besides that one. It was like, that was the first one. So I had to learn coping with that. Like, how am I supposed to feel during this injury mentally? I was going through a lot. I went through hella. So it was tough though, bro.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine, bro, because, you know, I ended up getting my first major injury, like, playing in the CFL. And one thing that you said that really a lot of athletes go through is being isolated in that time of being injured, like being away from the teammates. And, you know, that's tough because now once you're in that dark place and you by yourself, like the thoughts can take over. Like you ain't distracted by nothing or, you know, nothing like that. But like one of the most popular questions that I get asked from younger athletes is, do I have any tips on overcoming injuries in that thing? So my question for you is, what did you do to overcome that injury and overcome that dark place that you were in?
What did I do? I immediately got to rehabbing and making myself busy. You know what I'm saying? I just put my mind somewhere else. I remember when I got hurt, bro, I started studying more in school, just started doing something. I just tried to get ahead of my schoolwork just because I graduated in three and a half.
Okay.
So, you know, that was my plan all along, even from high school.
Yeah.
Go to college, play 3 years, you know what I'm saying? Leave,
Get out of there.
You know?
Yeah.
So I was already on that pace. So when I got hurt, I just put all my energy into that. And when I was able to actually start crushing around, bro, I went to almost every elementary school in that Tallahassee area and did guest speaking, read books to kids, just did positive stuff that I never boasted about or I never told people. But me and D. Coles, we used to, just me and him, bro, take the whole van, and it's just me and him. And we'll just go, I'm like, D. Coles, come pick me up, let's go talk to some kids or set something up for us to do. Because I'm just in the house at this time.
Right.
Go to treatment, rehab, come back home. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm like, I got to get outside, I want to do something. So that's what I just started doing, and that helped me at the time cope with what I had going. But what really set it off for me was when I was able to do what I needed to do, I was doing it to the T and more. So when it was time to go to the training room, I'm there early. I'm staying late.
Okay.
What else can I do? You know, I'm staying, and that helped me. By that time, my injury was healing up, and I was able to do more, and I was back throwing, and then I ended up coming back from that injury and being able to start the following year, which was huge because that injury didn't take a whole year to heal and get back.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a tough injury, but this is one of the things that a lot of people may not get or understand, and I definitely congratulate you on that, because a lot of times, bro, we can get so caught up in what's going wrong in our life and what's we can talk ourselves into so many negative things, but to be able to be a blessing to somebody else, bro, to be able to encourage somebody else during our tough times, bro, that's tough to do, because a lot of times we can be so focused on our own, problems or issues. So that year, you come back, you ended up being a starter. Jimbo left that year, right?
Yeah.
He ended up leaving, going to Texas A&M. Willie Taggart come in, and that year y'all end up going 7-6. So when you being able to come back and play, wait a minute, that year the team finished 7-6 with Jimbo that year?
Yeah.
The year you was hurt? Okay, and then the next year y'all had Taggart come in. So what was the biggest difference between like the Jimbo era and when he left?
I mean, for me, Jimbo was like another Winky. It was like, okay, boom, I had Winky, boom, I'm bumping up to Jimbo, not the same minds, quarterbacks, just offensive geniuses. So we had a strong connection. When I got to Florida State, bro, I was learning how to, because when I got to IMG humbled me. I ain't have it wasn't no fun, it wasn't no girls. The boy-girl ratio was like 6-1. You know what I'm saying? So I was humble coming out there. I was lonely. I was isolated. I had to, start reading my Bible. I went to chapel. You know what I'm saying? I went to Florida State, on my stuff, doing what I got to do. And I remember one day I was competing for the starting job, and I walked in Jimbo's office. He like, come office. I walked in his office. He like, you got to like, verbatim, not to say what he said verbatim, but he was just like, you got to basically, poke your chest out, act like it's yours. You walk around here basically a little too humble. You know what I'm saying? If this is your job, you got to go take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I took that for what it was, and I started to open myself up more and talk more and, assert myself more on the team. Like, yeah, and next year, this is going to be mine.
Yeah.
I know you got bro in here who older and he here who older, but next year is going to be mine. I started to wear that on me and, have that aura about me. And, that's one thing I never forgot. Like, I never forgot that because I was just so stuck on, like, be humble, just da-da-da. But that was, a little bit slowing me up a little bit. It was time to, because, your team going to go as a quarterback go. You can't be a quarterback and just be, like, moping around and, you know what I'm saying? You got to have that energy.
Yeah.
So, that was a moment that, Jimbo really helped me out, and that always stuck with me.
Yeah, but that's crazy because, like, I was literally just thinking about this the other day. Had no idea this was going to come up in this conversation. Like, being humble don't mean that you can't be, like, confident in that. That don't mean that you can't walk around like that.
Exactly.
You feel me? Like, being humble really just means that you don't look at yourself as, like, above or beneath nobody. You feel me? It's just, like, being appreciative for what you have. And I think a lot of people get that confused because when they be like, oh, F being humble, it's like, that's one way to look at it. I get the message behind it, but, like, it ain't always just being, too passive, I guess.
Exactly.
But just like, all right, from a former player on the outside looking in, because when Jimbo left, everything just kind of dropped off.
Definitely.
So was it like a culture thing in the locker room that changed? Like what made the difference between, because we went on like a 30-something year bowl game streak that got snapped, and then like what happened?
Like you said, it was a culture change, definitely. Willie was young, energetic, new school coach, players coach. Jimbo was old school, Nick Saban bred, old school, traditional, and that's what we had there. That's what we had recruited, So when Tiger came in, he had brought only a couple of recruits with him, but this was a Jimbo, bred team, and it was hard for all of us to transition so fast into what Tiger wanted us to be and what he wanted us to do. Mm-hmm. Some of us got it, but if the whole team not clicking on all cylinders, you're not going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
And that usually is what happens. And then coaches, implement their culture over time. Year one, cool. Year two, basically what Norvell is doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and sometimes it don't work out. It didn't work with Tiger, but it's working with Norvell.
Right.
And coming into the same situation because Norvell came into a terrible situation, and he built Florida State up back to where we belong. But it was definitely culture. It was different, bro. It was a different offense. We had pro-style players, pro-style linemen. We didn't have spread, speed,
more
get on the ball,
yeah,
let's go, throw it deep, let's hurry up. We didn't have those type of players. We didn't have that type of personnel. Mm-hmm. So it was just hard for us to, be efficient. We did what we could, but that's basically what it was. Tyler was still a great coach.
Yeah.
And he was a great players coach. We all connected with him. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it didn't mesh well because, he didn't get a lot of time. You don't have a lot of time.
You don't, especially.
You got to bring results now. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't bring results now, then, they move on.
Yeah, especially at Florida State. Like, we lose 3 games in a year. They hot. That's not the standard. So, that's good to hear from somebody who was actually there, because I always wondered that. So when your last season at Florida State, you ended up getting released, and from the outside looking in, I know a little bit about the story, but for the people who don't mind, do you mind sharing like what transpired or like how things happened?
Yeah, it was. So the spring that Tiger came in, the spring that he came in, where Jimbo was going out, was looking for a coach, and boom, Tiger comes in that spring. I'm still recovering from that injury from 2017. Jimbo leaves, in the middle of my recovery. We get a new coach. The season not starting yet. I'm still trying to get healthy to see if I could play in the spring game. Mm-hmm. So that's early in the year. And I'm still recovering, and I started hanging around the wrong people and meeting the wrong people. I started to look for what I was missing in football, and other things as like females. So I started dating this girl, and I was very vulnerable at the time, and I felt like I needed somebody there, you know what I'm saying? And, when we met, it was in a time where I did need somebody, where I was vulnerable, where I couldn't even use the restroom by myself. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do nothing after the surgery. I had never been hurt, so I didn't know it was going to be this bad. But she was there to help me through that time, and that's what I needed at the time. And it ended up not working out. We ended up, clashing and not being able to agree on things. And that's when I kind of lost my focus on what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be. I started to doubt myself. Started to feel like, maybe it's over, maybe I don't belong at Florida State and stuff like that. And things was getting rocky. Just came off, we was going into a season of losing our head coach, going into a transition season of getting a new head coach, learning a new offense. So it was a lot of question marks and things up in the air, and I didn't know how to cope with it well, and just making stupid decisions, having the wrong people around me, not cleaning my circle up at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and that's like kind of like what led to you getting released, like just kind of just being okay.
Mm-hmm. So that all that shaky stuff was before the season, and I kind of felt like, okay, let me isolate myself. Okay, I moved back into the dorms, out of that house. Let me isolate myself from being in a relationship with a female. So I moved back in the dorms with my homies, just to be around the team, just to, be away from trouble, be able to just be around the guys and be on the field with. And that season, it went bad. I think we did make a bowl game for the first time in history, and I was looking at transfer, and we ended up getting a new offensive coordinator, Kendall Browse. And Kendall Browse ended up convincing me to stay. You know, he was like, yo, I was at Houston, I had De'Eric. He almost won the Heisman. I feel like you could put up good numbers in this offense. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to stay. I'm going to just, I'm going to do my 5th year. I redshirted, so I got a 5th year. And I'm going to stay. And then, I end up actually getting back with the girl after the season because I felt like, okay, cool, there's no season right now. I don't got to be eyes locked in. I could rekindle the old flame. And it just didn't work out. It wasn't what it was. It was just too much conflict. And I ended up getting in trouble through allegations, through domestic violence allegations that wasn't true. But it wasn't so much that it wasn't true. It was the timing of everything. It wasn't no domestic violence. I never got arrested. It was nothing. It was just blown up because of the season we just had. How bad everything was going. It was like a domino effect, you know what I'm saying? So when one bad thing is happening, it makes other bad things look worse than what it is. Because coming up in Florida State, I've seen guys go through allegations. I've seen guys be accused, like football players are always, if it's true or if it's not, but we're targets. And I've seen Jimbo be able to investigate a situation or, put a situation on hold and see what it is. And if it's that, then, give the consequences. And if it's not that, you don't have to give consequences if it's innocent or just go through the process. And I didn't get that opportunity. At the time, we had just came off a bad season. Willie Taggart was on his way out. And it was either, he leave or I leave.
Right.
I remember he was like, you know what? We're just going to go a different direction. And I wasn't mad at him at all. It was just a domino effect of bad things just happening in my life at the time. And I had nobody else to blame, and it was all my fault. So with that happening, it was good that happened because it opened up my eyes. It gave me an opportunity to okay, it's time to grow up. I was still humble, but I just had lost all my gratitude. You know what I'm saying? I just lost all the gratitude I had, and I was careless in decisions I was making, people I had around me, and that's just how it ended up happening.
Yeah. So you end up transferring to Hampton, HBCU. But you almost walked on to FAU, but you ended up choosing Hampton. So did you go on Hampton on scholarship, or did you have to walk on to there?
Nah, I went on scholarship.
You went on scholarship? Okay, so did you think when you were leaving Florida State, did you think that it was going to come down to having to go to a school like that, or did you think that you were going to be able to get other chances to play at more prestigious schools?
I actually didn't think me leaving Florida State was going to hinder my process of playing at a big school. I didn't think that at all because everybody knew who I was. I was still hot at the time. Everything was still good. I was still one of the best in the country at the time. Could throw the ball, still had it. And it was like, all right, now I just got to get out of the situation, weather the storm. Let them investigate whatever they need to investigate. And it was bigger than the situation, though. I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at my whole life and everything that was going on. It was bigger than that one situation. That one situation was something that I felt like was going to happen. I just didn't know when, and I didn't know how to stop it. And that's just how I felt at the time when I was in Tallahassee. With the decisions I was making. And I used to pray against it, and I used to be like, God, direct my steps. I don't know what's about to happen, but I just felt like something bad was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It was a weird feeling. But after that happened, Hampton, the decision to go to Hampton wasn't because of the school. I wasn't even looking, that's not what I was looking for.
Right.
I was looking for peace. And I had hella schools hit me up, hella big schools who was like, you know what, you're going to investigate the situation, let it cool down, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you weren't arrested. It was an Instagram post that had my voice in it, saying some malicious things, which wasn't right, but it wasn't anything to get arrested for. I wasn't, no criminal charges. I was never handcuffed. It was nothing. It was just an Instagram post.
Right.
In combination with the season we had, the bad stuff that was going on in Tallahassee, not making the bowl game. You know what I'm saying? It was just so much bad things that was happening. So Hampton just gave me an opportunity to be somewhere to where I could be normal. You know what I'm saying? I was just so popular at the time. Positively, I was popular, and then I became popular from negativity. And negativity is always more popular than positivity. And it's sick, but that's just the world we live in. People celebrate the negative way more than they celebrate the positive.
Yep.
A negative post gonna go viral way before a positive post go viral. So I became popular, but just in a different lens. And I wanted to get somewhere to where, bro, I couldn't even post on Instagram. I couldn't do nothing. So I wanted to go somewhere to where I could just be normal. And I visited plenty of schools, went to FAU, went to a lot of big other schools, you know, quietly with my hoodie on, while stuff under investigation, talking to the coaches telling me good plans. And, you know, I'm just thinking at that time. And when I started to look at the smaller schools and look at situations, I, you know, fell in love with the atmosphere that Hampton had. I got on that campus, most people didn't even know who I was because it wasn't a football school, it was a basketball school.
Yeah.
Way in Virginia.
Yeah.
So, and it was like a HBCU.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was condensed, already small, beautiful campus, beautiful women, great teachers, historically black college. I'm coming from PWI, so I don't know nothing about it. So I'm intrigued. I'm like, you know what, this is a new beginning, something I could, you know, learn and, you know, get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And it gave me that breath of fresh air that I needed from coming from that situation because I was suffocating myself with just my thoughts of what if, why, you know, how, you know what I'm saying? So that's what came into my decision.
Yeah.
Going to Hampton for real.
No, that's good. And I'm glad that was the source of you choosing that school, you know, and I'm, you know, versus be kind of like having to force your hand and not having options, you know. So what was it like? All right, so we went to Florida State and we had FAMU right across the street. So, you know, kind of got an idea of what it's like to be at a HBCU. Like I used to be in, go to the classes and some people that I know. So I was a student at FAM, but I played football at Florida State. But what was it like outside of football? What was it like actually going to an HBCU and like, what was it like socially outside of football?
Hampton, they call it the real HU.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I went on my visit there. It's a beautiful campus, and it was different, way different than PWI. Everybody knew everybody. It was smaller, more condensed. It felt like more love, you know what I'm saying? Compared to Florida State, my lifestyle was different when I got to Hampton, bro. In so many ways, I couldn't even tell you. Like they gave me an apartment. They tried their best to make it, you know, as how things work, but it's just some things you can't replace.
Right.
Like I was standing in line for food at Florida State. You know how we got our own calf. At Hampton, I'm in the back of the line. I'm throughout the building. My first week there, I'm like, mind you, I didn't have my car out there because me and my goddad, we drove a U-Haul out there because I had so much stuff. I'm in the back of the line at lunch. I'm just, you know, it was another humbling experience. Yeah. And it's just, that's the way my life seems to go. It's like humbling experience. You learn from it. Humbling experience. You learn from it. And, you know, and that's just what God wanted to place me at that time. That's what I felt when I went there too. Because, you know, I was strong in my Bible at the time, really trying to figure out what's going on in my life. And I felt like when I took that visit to Hampton, God was telling me, all right, this is what I want you to be. Cool off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get out the way, get off the radar. And it was cool, but Hampton was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful. We weren't never even on campus for real at Florida State. We was just going to class. We was just football players.
Right.
Like in Hampton, I was a student athlete. Florida State, I was an athlete student. You know what I'm saying? At Hampton, nobody cared. I had to tell people come to the football games. Bro, I went from playing in front of thousands of people willingly, screaming crazy, to having to go to the calf and tell shorties and homies to, hey, it's a game this weekend. Y'all come on, pull up, because I'm my teammates telling me like, yeah, bro, the game's not, it's straight, but you know, they telling me like, cause they know I'm coming from Florida State, so they're like, bro, nah, it ain't gonna be what you think it's gonna be. And I'm like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't expecting the Florida State, but bro, it was some games was the bleachers was empty.
No.
Yeah, it was that. It's not a football school. They not really a prestige football program. It's a basketball school. And then besides that, it's like majority women. You know what I'm saying? It's majority women. Women not finna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they ain't finna be.
Yeah. And then they from the DMV. So
Right.
the females was different out there. I never experienced the DMV type of females.
How they was different?
Because like they wasn't like Florida females. They was real sedity. They was real sedity. They ain't about to go out sit in the hot sun. They not about to do that. They ain't about to cheer nobody on.
And ain't nobody finna be out there.
Right. Like it was a lot of frats and sororities. That was the big thing.
That was the thing, yeah.
Football wasn't a big thing on campus.
That makes sense.
At Florida State, frat who, sorority who.
Right.
Y'all know who we is?
Right.
Man, what? At Hampton? You not in a frat? Oh. What you doing here, bro? You know what I'm saying? I had to learn not to walk. I remember one time I'm on campus, it's this thing, you know, they go in a circle. I'm walking with my homie. I'm there for like 2 weeks. Just got there, just throwing through campus. I'm about to walk in the middle of it. He like, no. Don't step. Like, I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it's called. But he like, you can't step on that. You can't walk through that. I'm like, bro, nah.
It was like some fraternity, sorority type stuff?
Yeah, I guess it was like a meet. Yeah.
What they, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere that they meet up. You can't walk. It's disrespectful to walk on it. And I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I didn't know that. I had no clue. I didn't even know about fresh at the time.
Especially like whether it's Florida State or FAM, like Florida State, we had what was it, UE Wednesday.
Right.
We all, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They gonna do their thing, they gonna have their space, but nothing is sacred like that.
Right.
Then you got Set Friday.
Exactly.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Everything integrated, everything lit. You feel me? Like so
It
to
wasn't
go
like that at Hampton.
right.
They was real deal. That's
Yeah.
their life. We used to go to FAMU just to go turn up on Set Friday and go see folks and vibe. But at Hampton, it was like real, you know, what frat you in. You know what I'm saying? That's how I learned about frats and Greek life, period, from going to Hampton. And it made me think like, dang, how many people that go to PWIs that don't even know about HBCUs and what they stand for and what goes into an HBCU. So that was another life decision that I'm glad that I made because I got a chance to go to PWI, experience it, went to HBCU, experienced it, got both sides of the spectrum. I learned a lot from both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was cool.
Nah, for sure. So you leave Hampton. Now you end up you leaving for the draft. And when you left from, you said you graduated 3.5, right? What you end up getting your degree? Where did you?
Florida State?
Well, either one. If you graduated
Social
from social science, okay. And you got another one from
Yeah, master's
what you got there?
sports administration.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what's up. So like, just real quick, what like, I know football is a goal, but what are you planning on? Like, what lane would you like to go within that?
I don't know. And then I know, but it's like I don't know in the sense of how much do I want to put on myself. I know what I want to do, but do I want to take my time and focus on one thing? Do I think I'm sporty enough to do 3 things at once?
Right.
Like some people are.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just finding myself and what I want to do and how I want to do it. But coaching is an option, mentoring, and then entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Opening up my own business, e-commerce, you know, reselling things, talking to people, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff in that lane. You know, right now, when you still wearing the cleats, it's hard to really dig into something else because as you get older, the football guys get realer.
Yeah.
If you're not working, if you're not working out and training, perfecting your craft, bro, because you worried about, you know, stuff that you need to be worried about, like working and get money, then you taking a chance of going out there and hurting yourself, getting embarrassed, not performing, wasting everybody's time plus yours.
Right.
So right now, being 27, I'm still, you know, trying to compartmentalize with both sides of the spectrum. That, and it's been a battle, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I'll say, if I was to say anything about it, I would say you don't have to go full-fledged into, you know, life after football in your career, but you can and just start brainstorming,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying, planting seeds, you know, so, you know, just getting that in there. But so you start training for the draft, you end up training down here, or you end up training in Daytona with Coach Shaw. And COVID hit, which messed up a lot of people, you know, that year. Did you get a chance to work out in front of any NFL scouts or do a pro day or anything like that?
Yeah. Not really though.
Not really.
Yeah, but not really.
What you mean?
I mean, not the traditional pro day that everybody else got. You know, not the fair, 30 scouts watching you perform and throw. And as a quarterback, if they're not seeing you throw in person, it's dead. I'm just dead.
Yeah.
Because, you want to see that ball hum. You want to see it pop off his hand. You want to hear it. You want to feel his presence. And if they can't do that at the quarterback position, it's over with. Like, that's very important. That's where a lot of quarterbacks make their money.
Right.
After the season. Okay, you play a season, you do great, you do subpar, or you do bad. Okay, if you do bad, but you have a good pro day, you can help yourself in the draft. You can help push yourself up with what you've shown in your pro day. And I didn't get that opportunity. It was tough, bro, because I was already going through the adversity that I faced at Florida State. I was already going through convincing that I'm healthy, that I'm back. I was already going through so much. Like, all 32 teams came to Hampton and interviewed me and talked to me, every single team. And I had to literally sit there, tell them every situation that happened at Florida State. I had to sit there and literally tell them, like, everything that happened, and I had to do this every day after practice while everybody going to the crib, everybody going to the locker room. And it got to the point where I'm like, man, it's stressful, it's tough.
Yeah.
And me doing that got nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? Got nothing out of it. A couple of teams called back, a couple of teams, that I formed relationships with, but it was still just a tough situation to get nothing out of that. But after that, I still ended up, keeping my head up and pursuing the NFL and doing what I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you end up, the draft comes and, you didn't get a phone call. You didn't get a phone call, and from what I see, the next time you got an opportunity was playing in a fan-controlled football league. So, what was your mindset going into that, and what was it like playing in that league?
Fan control, man. When I think about fan control, bro, it's like a time in my life that's real significant because it was an opportunity to play football and have fun. Just be a kid. When I didn't, when the world was shut down, when I couldn't throw a football at nobody, fan control gave some guys an opportunity to stay loose, stay relevant. And it just came out of nowhere. Like, God was like, all right, you can stop working these dead-end jobs and, go back, play football, because in a few years, I'm going to continue to bless you and continue to keep you playing this game. So, fan control was crazy. It's fan control football. The fan call the plays. Fans vote on the play, and then the play goes into the coach, and the coach tells us what play to run. It's like WWE football. We're not slamming each other, but it's kind of gimmicky, but it's fun to watch. They did a great job with bringing out celebrities. Like, so many celebrities was coming out there every week. It was middle of Atlanta, and honestly, I did it originally because I wanted to get out of Orlando. But the jobs that I was working was putting me in depression to the point to where I didn't even know, how to sleep at night. I couldn't even sleep. I couldn't do nothing, but I had to make money to provide. You know what I'm saying? As a man, if you got no money in your pocket, you're worthless.
Right.
So I had to do what I needed to do. Like, I worked jobs that I never thought I'd work in my life. You know what I'm saying? So fan control gave me a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, I can go play football for some money. Even though it's not a lot of money, it's still, positive and working towards something I want to do.
Yeah. So what kind of jobs was you working, like, prior to the...
Bro, I worked for a trucking company. I was safety supervisor for a trucking company. My agent got me that job when things was tough and we wasn't getting no calls. That's why he's still my agent to this day. People be like, oh, fire your agent. You ain't got no looks. You never even got to try out, man, go with somebody else. But they don't understand. It's not about that. It's about loyalty. Like, it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? If I did what I needed to do and was what it was supposed to be, shoot, I'd beat up the agent ain't, you know what I'm saying? He can't, you know? So that's why I stick with bro. But besides that, besides the agent stuff, it was like, what you asked me?
I just asked because you were talking about how the jobs was leading you to depression and stuff. So I was just asking, like, what kind of jobs?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, boy, that boy got, that CT might have hits from Florida State adding up, boy. Hey.
You know, you just be babbling and I just go to think about
I'm already know.
But, yeah.
But no, that's good though. Shout out to your agent. You know, he a good dude. I know your agent. He's cool people. A lot of people got a lot of great things to say about him. But so you play in the fan control league and you play in the spring league actually for a little bit. You could have easily quit and I actually had it right here in my notes. Like you could have easily quit and pursued a real job for some real money. But like, is just getting a breath of fresh air of playing football, was that the only reason you kept going? Because at this time, the odds of you getting a chance from going from fan control football to the NFL is like super low. So like, what made you keep going regardless of how things looked?
It's like I was working at a Winn-Dixie, bro, one night, overnight, in Belgrade. That chicken is still, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my lunch break. Mm-hmm. I'm working overnight, bro. And I'm in the car crying, dog, just bawling out, just crying because I'm like thinking about my grandpa because he always used to be rooting for me. Like, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm just thinking about him talking to me, his voice playing in my head, thinking about where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm merchandising. Mm-hmm. That's when you get the cereal, put it on the shelf, see the code, you know, line it up, make it look nice for the customers that's about to come in. I'm doing that for hours and hours at a time. And I'm telling the coworkers, I'm like, yeah, I used to play football. They're like, yeah, because, you know, everybody don't know. So I'm telling them, I'm putting them on game, like, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, just, you know, it's just clueless. But I'm like, yeah, man, I'm an athlete. Because they asked me, like, bro, you work out? Bro, what you do? You used to play sports. And I was giving them the rundown. After I was talking to them about it, on my lunch break, I just bawled out crying. Because I'm like, bro, what am I doing here? What is going on, bro? Like, how did I end up here? How did I get from that Ole Miss game to stacking, you know, bread, seeing what bread, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just a crazy time. And, you know, that was that time that Kurt Warner movie came out. And watching that movie had helped me. Wow. It helped me a lot because brother was doing the same thing. Yeah, that was the moment where I'm like, dang, God, you trying to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You talking to me right now, man. You speaking to me. And I watched that movie, and that's when I was like, you know what? Let me see what's going. And then God doing what he do, I get an email about this league and what it's about, and, you know, and I go do it. And then that's how it came about.
Yeah. Nah, that's what's up. So, like, you know, once that was over with, you know, I remember you had like a tryout for one of the teams that I played for in the CFL, and, you know, that they didn't really give you an opportunity, but you did end up getting an opportunity to play in the XFL. Mm-hmm. And again, you got a chance to play in the XFL right here in Orlando. Yeah. You know, so how was your first year as a pro? And like, after going through crying at 3 a.m. and all that stuff, like, how was your mindset when you finally got this opportunity?
Man, I was happy. I was like, okay, boom. You know, this why you've been in it. Like, since 2020, like, years, bro. It's just been constant. Work a job, go play ball. Work a job, go play a spring league. I don't even know why I kept doing it. I don't even know why I didn't go make some more money. And I just felt like the reason was because I had so much to prove to myself. Yeah. And it was times where I was like, bro, I'm going to stop playing ball, hang it up, bro. It's like, it's dead. But it was always a voice in my head, like, just keep going. Like, Every time I try to stop or try to hit up one of my homies, they'll tell me keep playing. Or hit up one of my old coaches to look for help with an opportunity, they'll tell me keep playing. You still young. So I tried to stop, but it just, the universe wouldn't let me. So when I got the opportunity to play in the XFL, I knew it was all a part of the plan. Yeah. I knew God is constructed this certain plan for me, and that was a stepping stone to get where I wanted to go. So I got the opportunity through Coach Dawsey, knowing Coach Buck, politics, you know what I'm saying? And that's huge in this game. It's all about who know you and who you know.
Right.
So I was grateful to, not burn those bridges and be able to get, he put in a great word for me, and I ended up getting signed by Orlando. It was full circle again. I'm back playing ball in my hometown. My family could come see me play. You know what I'm saying? I'm positive. I got high hopes for the situation. And it all went downhill. It didn't go as planned. It just constant up and downs going through life, and it was happening again. But this time I'm a little older, so I'm like, okay, I'm prepared.
Mature, you done been through this.
Yeah, I know what's going on. I know this how life work. I know how blessings come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, I didn't know what was going on, bro. I didn't know what was happening, bro. It was like being on top of the mountain and falling flat on your face.
Yeah.
But now it's like we went 1-9. We was the worst team in the league, us in Vegas. But Vegas beat us, so it really was us. You know what I'm saying? And I barely played. I barely got an opportunity to touch the field. When I did what I had to do, did what I was supposed to do. But the way the season worked out and the way these spring leagues work out, sometimes players are inactive, sometimes players are active, sometimes you got 3 quarterbacks on the roster, and you can only travel 2. So some weeks you take turns. It's only 10 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So the situation just wasn't ideal, and it was okay because that wasn't the purpose. You know what I'm saying? That was never the purpose. That wasn't God's purpose.
Yeah.
God's purpose wasn't for me to go play for Orlando and tear the city up and I'm back. You know what I'm saying? This was just another stepping stone to where he wanted me to go. And at first, a little part of me was like, man, what's going on? Boom. And I snapped out of it and realized, okay, bet, I see what's going on. Let me just ride this wave, go to practice like you're supposed to practice. You know what I'm saying? Control what you control. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, good things going to happen. And that was my mindset going through that 1-9 season with Orlando. Yeah. And just continue to tell myself, like, just do what you can because you barely playing. So it's nothing you can do. It ain't like you can cause any else. You know what I'm saying? You just continue to go practice and continue to perfect your craft. Maybe somebody going to trade for you. Maybe you'll be on another team soon. And then a year later, DC called.
Yeah. Dang. So a year later, DC called. Dang, that's crazy because you was just in the area with in college.
Right.
Dang. So I don't know. I be thinking about some crazy stuff, but it's just like
it is.
Yeah. So like you getting another chance to be back up there and like your little stomping grounds, kind of. So, what going into your second year as a pro? Like, what are some of your goals? This will be the last question that I ask you. So what's some of your goals going into your second year?
Going into my second year, you mean like on the field, like personal goals?
You can do both, but I was speaking from but you can do both.
It's a great question. It's a question I ask myself weekly, bro. Now that I'm from the league in like a week or so, I always ask myself this, like, what do I want? What's my goals? And I don't want much like specific, like on throw for 4,000 yards, All-American, offensive. None of those accolades really matter to me right now. What I want from this season is just to really figure out who I am in the process of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to get to where I'm supposed to get to in this chapter, and that's all I'm worried about. And if I become the MVP of the league doing that, then that's cool. And if I don't, then that's fine. But I still figured out what I need to do in this time, and that's my main goal. And it's hard to do that, bro. It's not easy to, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes your mind go other places, and my main goal is just to be able to challenge myself to get back to that kid I was when I was at IMG, when God isolated me to a point to where I couldn't talk to my old high school friends. I was away from home. And I got a chance to really be just me and him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just get back to that little kid that loved the game for what it was and take the business out of it and just play the game you love while you still can. We get old. I just turned 27. I'm going to have to take the helmet off one day. So I don't really don't care about no accolades, just trying to have fun and, fulfill God's purpose in this chapter.
Yeah. No, that's good to hear, man. And, just hearing your story, I really believe that people will be able to take something from everything that you talked about, whether just life, football, anything, man. And, I'm happy for you. And, it's good to hear how you handle life's ups and downs, being able to take your lessons and learn from them and grow and being able to not get so caught up in how you feel or, and being able to really see the bigger picture. So definitely commend you for that. And honestly, that's what I made this platform for people to come over here and talk about stuff like that. So, hey, man, again, I appreciate you coming through. Happy birthday again, bro.
Thank you, brother.
All love this way, man. And I wish you nothing but the best moving forward, bro.
Likewise, brother.
Most definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, Deondre Francois.